Hello and welcome to episode 14 of Burns Banter, the podcast that takes a fresh look at the life and works of Robert Burns, hosted by myself, Alistair Turnbull. But today we have a slightly different episode. Normally I would talk about a poem and explain it. We're going to talk about music this time. I've got some very good friends with me. Please introduce yourselves.
Do I have to? I'm Mike. I've known Ali for a long time. I play a lot of different things, including, and I've learned a lot more tunes of Burns than I realised.
That's true, yeah.
I'm Mary. I'm married to Mike, and
Sorry about that.
we met through music, and yeah.
You play a lot together. I mean, I know you've got several bands together. When you just play with the two of you together, what's the name of the band?
Band is Garbh Uisge, which is Gaelic for rough water, and is named after a river just outside Callander, where we live. And although it's just the two of us, there's three people in Garbh Uisge. We also have a drummer, percussionist, who's not with us today because his wife is due to give birth any second now. Which is why sometimes the tunes get a bit fast, because I need him to hold me back.
You do.
If you're watching this on video when we're playing, sometimes you'll see Mary glaring at me. That means slow down, where's the drummer?
Yeah. And I've had you, we earlier on, just before we started to record this part of the show, we recorded some tunes earlier on in this room, and we've had a great time doing it. So let's talk about some of the tunes. We recorded some Burns waltzes. What were the Burns waltzes that we did?
The Burns waltzes, they're ones that I played when I was at school in lots of different groups, and they were My Love Is Like a Red Red Rose, Lazy Lindsay, Collie Owls, Ye Banks and Braes, Bonnie Doon. So we just mashed them all together because they're
they make a good waltz. If they're all 3/4, you can link from one into the other.
That's true, and it's amazing when you start listening to these tunes, you think, oh, I recognise that tune.
Yep.
You know, Ye Banks and Braes, Bonnie.
I mean, a lot of these, I knew the tunes, and it wasn't until the first time we put the set together and Mary said, yeah, this is a set of Burns waltzes. I thought, are they all Burns?
Yeah, it's amazing. That when it's a bit like you listen, you go, I've heard that before. Where have I heard that? But you don't recognise the name. But as soon as the tune starts playing, that's it. So what we'll do just now is we're going to mix into that. We're going to have a listen to these Burns tunes, and we'll speak to you after that. And here we are back in after the tunes. Then what? Just recap. What were the names of those waltzes again?
So the first one was Ye Banks and Braes.
Right.
Of Bonnie Doon.
Banks and Braes of Bonnie Doon,
Bonnie
which
Doon.
is not far from where we are. Then Car the Owls, Leezy Lindsay,
Lazy Lindsay.
and My Love Is Like a Red, Red Rose.
Yeah, out of them, I think I know them all apart from Lazy Lindsay. That's a new one to me. I'll need to look into that one further.
I
But
do have somewhere a cracking recording of Mary doing that just on her voice, but I don't think she wants me to play you that just now. We'll do a better one for you later.
Another one later.
We'll come back and do Lazy Lindsay next time.
Yeah. Well, there's a lot of Burns stuff about just now because we're coming up to Burns Night. I mean, I've just recently spoken at school about Burns and had them all playing the game Willie Wassel, which was quite good fun. If you want to know what that is, listen to the previous episode. What do you normally do in a Burns Night? Tell me what's a typical... What have you done on Burns Nights before?
Well, this time last year we were actually with yourself recording stuff for Trossachs Radio, which I think is still out there on the web somewhere if you want to find it, which is a cracking wee set we did in the living room of Ian Mitchell at Trossachs Radio.
I remember that well. I thoroughly enjoyed that day.
Talking about Burns poems, drinking whiskey, eating haggis and playing tunes.
With the audience as well, of all the neighbours.
Live
as well.
audience, some good whiskey, some good food. That was a day I'll remember for a long time. It was
a really
excellent.
good day.
Yeah.
And of course, prior to that, no one was allowed to see anyone because we were in COVID. So we had to do our Burns party in the living room on our own, streamed live to Facebook, which was...
I remember that as well because I sat in my living room just opposite there and listened and joined in, and they put down, turn up your mic, Mike.
Yes, it's hard doing this stuff live, so quite looking
good
forward
fun.
to this year being able to see people at Burns Night.
Absolutely. And if, by the way, if anybody wants to see me on Burns Night, I'm the main Burns speaker at the Royal Yacht Club in Granton.
Oh, nice.
On the 27th of January. So I'm fairly looking forward to that, doing the Immortal Memory and the Address to the Haggis. Anyway, let's see. What other tunes did we play earlier on? We played the waltzes.
We had A Fond Kiss.
Oh, that's right,
Which
yeah, one of my favourites. Yeah.
I really like it. I know very little about it, so I'm going to look at you two to be intelligent.
I like the story of that one. It was one of Burns's girlfriends, and she kept a diary, and I can't remember much
Well,
else
what
about
it was,
now.
it was a woman called Nancy Meckelhose he wrote it about, and he liked her a lot, and she liked him a lot, but they never, shall we say, never consummated their relationship. She had a bit of a complicated... Her husband was estranged and was living in Jamaica, and eventually her family forced her to go and try and reconcile with him in Jamaica. And just before she left in 1792... Burns wrote this song, A Fond Kiss, which is A Fond Kiss and Then We Sever, because he never thought he would see her again in his life, you know. Alas Forever, and it's all about the final parting. And it was actually, he wrote the song and sent it to her after the last time they met together in Edinburgh. And it was the heartfelt, the emotions that he had that he poured into the song. So I think we should listen to it right now. We recorded it earlier on. Here is A Fond Kiss.
A fond kiss and then we sever. A farewell, alas, forever. Deep in her wrung tears, oh pledge
A Fond Kiss, a fabulous song, and again, I think one of the best love songs ever written.
So I'm going to pick you up on, you said that Burns sent this tune to Nancy. Now I'm presuming he didn't upload it to YouTube. Did he, did he turn
He
up
didn't
at
put
a
it on
door
an
and play it, or
MP3,
how
no,
did
no,
you-
he didn't. It was, no, Burns could write music. He could write music. Burns could play the fiddle. It said he wasn't a particularly good fiddle player, but he used to play it, and what he actually did for tunes was, there was he went to the pub. There was a pub, one of the local pubs close to the houses he was staying. He would go to a local pub. He'd take his fiddle with him, and basically he would get the best looking woman in the place who had a reasonable voice. They say, "Come on over here and I'll play a tune, and get her to sing it." So if he was writing a tune for something, and he'd be writing on the violin, and he wanted it to be sung, he would get somebody in the pub with him to sing it. And if they could sing it and it came across well, he'd write it down. If they couldn't sing it and it didn't come across well, he changed the melody to make it easier.
Oh.
That's what he did, yeah.
So he'd have written it down and sent the music to Nancy,
Yeah,
who then presumably has to find a musician to play it to him.
Yeah, I don't know if she was a musician or not. I don't know that. Yeah. But yeah, that's how they did it. Yeah,
Okay.
yeah. So, are you talking about musicians? Are you guys playing anywhere soon? Or you got any gigs coming up?
We've got a couple of birthday parties lined up. I think they're both actually 50th, and we've had some inquiries already. People trying to book Kayleys for Hogmanay.
Oh yeah.
Wow, we're only just past Hogmanay, you know.
I'll not mention the venue because people might figure out what's going on. But who said, "Oh, we had a band for Hogmanay and they were terrible. We need somebody better, but we want to get in quick before everybody gets booked up." so yeah, we're already working on Hogmanay stuff. And,
Only 11 months away. There we go. That's
yes,
fine. Yeah.
That's fine.
Yeah.
Oh.
Well, let's talk about. We did some reels earlier on as well.
Yes, we kind of use those when we're doing Kayleys as part of a Dashing White Sergeant set, but the waltzes are really nice love tunes, but the reels I find are a little bit more fun.
They are, and the reels are the ones I can hardly keep up with these days because I'm in my 50s now. But my wife's a marathon runner. She's fine. She'll reel all night long if she could. But I mean, yeah. So what reels are we playing?
My Love She's But a Lassie Yet, and There Was a Lad Born in Kyle.
Ah,
So,
right. Two lesser known ones,
Yes.
but I bet when we hear the tune, we'll
You will
recognise
them.
There we go. So here we go. Let's go with the reels just now. So some pretty fast fiddle playing there, Mary. How do you manage to keep up with that kind of thing? I mean, it's
Caffeine.
caffeine. Caffeine, a wee touch of whiskey in there.
Aye.
Well, that's exactly where we need the drummer to hold me back. You know, if you saw the glaring there, it's like, slow down! I just get too excited.
Yeah. Now, we also recorded earlier, again, one of my favourites, Auld Lang Syne. But we recorded it with the original tune. Now, people don't really know the original tune very well, because we all know the da 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 da. But that's not the one he put it in the. He gave it to George Thompson, which this guy who had a book called the Scottish Musical Museum, and Burns had heard an old guy sing this song Auld Lang Syne, and he wrote the words down and maybe changed them slightly and gave it to George Thompson with the tune. But George Thompson didn't keep that tune. After Burns died in 1796, George Thompson reprinted Auld Lang Syne in his next edition of the Scottish Musical Museum in 1799 it was, and he put a different tune. And the modern tune, well, the tune we all use today, I think is called the Miller's Wife or something like that. It's a Strathspey reel that's been slowed down and used, and that's the one we all associate with just now. But for a wee change, we're going to play the original tune. See what you think.
Got much more of the story in it as well.
Oh, is it? What's the story?
Well, it's got more verses in it, hasn't it?
Well, that's true.
And I learned from you what a willied wacht was.
A willied wacht's a good old drink of beer, a topped up glass of beer. That's right. Yeah.
But it's about the whole story of how we were young and we paddled in the burn and we.
Well, that's right. To people who don't know what that means, we paddle. It means you paddle in the burn, you know. And one of the verses says, "Run about the hills and pooed the gowans fine."
The gowans are daisies.
The gowans are daisies, and to poo it, I mean, you're basically on the hills pulling the daisies up.
Yeah,
you know,
and there's so many places in Scotland called Gowan Hill.
That's right.
It's a hill of daisies, isn't it?
Yeah. So I mean, these words they reflect Scotland. They reflect that the Scotland of days gone by, and still the beautiful hills of Scotland today. Yeah. So, with that in mind, let's hear the original version of Auld Lang Syne.
Should old acquaintance be forgotten and never brought to mind? Should old acquaintance be forgotten and days Auld Lang Syne? For Auld Lang Syne, my Joe, for Auld Lang Syne, we'll take a cup of kindness yet for Auld Lang Syne. And surely you'll be your pint still, and surely I'll be mine, and we'll take a cup of kindness yet for Auld Lang Syne. For Auld Lang Syne, my Joe, for Auld Lang Syne, we'll take a cup of kindness yet for Auld Lang Syne. We twa here about the braes and put the gowns fine, but we've wandered mony's a weary fit, some days Auld Lang Syne. For Auld Lang Syne, my Joe, for Auld Lang Syne, we'll take a cup of kindness yet for Auld Lang Syne. We twa paddled in the burn through morning sun till dine, but see There's a hand I trusty fear, and gies a hand o' thine, and we'll tak her up there while they walk for Auld Lang Syne. For Auld Lang Syne, my Jo, for Auld Lang Syne, we'll tak a cup of kindness yet for Auld Lang Syne.
So that's the original version of Auld Lang Syne. Mary keeps on giving me a row if I say Syne. It's definitely Auld Lang Syne with an S, not a Z. Otherwise, I get slapped.
Yeah,
I really I get slapped or glowered at. So
if like me and you're brought up in the lazy tradition of listening to folk do it on the telly, then it's really hard to remember to say it's not a sign. It doesn't start with a
Is
Z.
it? No.
You probably even heard, if you were paying attention, I got it wrong once in the verse there as well.
Oh, I still do it as well. But
Yeah.
Auld Lang Syne. There we go.
Yes.
Now, earlier on, during the recording of this episode, we all stopped because we were hungry and we had a bit of lunch. My daughter Hannah made us lovely carrot and courgette soup, which was excellent, and we enjoyed it. But we got the guitars out even when we were sitting having lunch, and we sang the song "Green Grow the Rashes." So I'm going to finish this week's episode with us playing "Green Grow the Rashes." So please forgive us. We just learned it about half an hour ago over
Ali
a
said
plate of
we'd
soup.
love to do Green Grow the Rashes on, and we're looking. I don't think we know that one. Well, we're going to learn it. So this is
I
Ali
remember
going to be
that tune
teaching
from a
us
long
Green
time
Grow the
ago.
Rashes.
So, well, I hope you've enjoyed this episode. It's much more musical. I hope you've enjoyed hearing the tunes, some of the stories behind the tunes. I hope you go and see Garbh Uisge live sometime.
Yeah, you can find us on Facebook if you can spell Garbh Uisge, and I'm sure Ali will put it in the comments somewhere.
I will put in the comments, why don't you spell it just now so people can understand?
It's Garbh Uisge.
And what does it mean?
It means rough water.
It means rough water.
Rough water. It's one of the rivers in Callander, and yeah.
So Garbh is rough, and Uisge you'll know yourself from
Whiskey.
whiskey.
Uisge is whiskey, that's
Uisge,
right, yeah.
Yep.
Well, from rough water to rough singing. We're going to end
Did
this
you plan
episode.
that segue in advance?
I didn't. I just. Yeah, well, people are going to understand that when they hear the song. So, again, I hope you've enjoyed this episode. I'll see you next week on Burns Banter. So, from myself and Garbh Uisge, Slange Var.
Goodbye.
Snot with care on every hand, and every hour that passes, oh, what signifies a life, oh man, but worning for the lasses, oh. Green grow the rashes, oh, green grow the rashes, oh, the sweetest hours that e'er I spent among the lasses, oh. Worldly race, me riches chase, and riches still may fly them all. And though at last they catch them fast, their hearts can ne'er enjoy them all. Green grow the rashes, oh, green grow the rashes, oh, the sweetest hours that e'er I spent among the lasses, oh. A canny out at evening time, my arms about my dearie, oh, the worldly cares and worldly men may take a tap so teary, oh. Green grow the rashes, oh, green grow the rashes, oh, the sweetest hours that e'er I spent among the lasses, oh. You sit douse, you sneer at this, you're naught but senseless asses, oh. The wisest man the world had saw, he dearly loved the lasses, oh. Green grow the rashes, oh, green grow the rashes, oh, the sweetest hours that e'er I spent among the lasses, oh. Nature her swears the lovely dears, her noblest work she coalesces, oh. Her apprentice hand she tried on man, and then she made her lasses, oh. Wind blow the rashes, oh. Wind blow the rashes, oh. The sweetest hours that e'er I spent among the lasses, oh. Wind blow the rashes, oh. Wind blow the rashes, oh. The sweetest hours that e'er I spent among the lasses,